Everyone, Dr. Jeff here with you today. 2 weeks till Labor Day, so getting back to school soon. I know there's a lot of apprehension out there with some parents and even with some kids about this return to school thing. So I thought I'd talk a little bit today about getting back as safely as we possibly can. First thing, of course, is masks. The kids are going to have to wear masks, so masks are going to be mandatory. So a good time to get out and do some mask shopping. So going out, making sure you get the proper size and proper fit for your kids. Make sure they're multi-layered so they're doing the job they need to do. You also make sure you get a bunch of them, because ultimately they're going to get dirty, they're going to get lost, they're going to get worn out. So make sure you buy a bunch of them. So once you get the masks, make sure that you teach them how to get them on and off properly, so they're not fidgeting with them and playing with them and dropping them on the floor. So make sure they're fitting properly. And of course, when they go to school, make sure somehow the name is written on it somewhere, because ultimately they're going to get lost and they'll be lost and found, so you want to know whose mask it is. You may want to have some fun and end up drawing characters, their favorite characters on the mask, so they can individualize and have some fun with their mask with it. You may also want to make sure you get out and get the kids to see what masks are like on people, and that because it can be quite scary seeing people in masks, especially some people wearing kind of funky looking masks. So making sure you're getting out to the malls or out for a walk and getting to a store or something and get the kids to see what a mask actually looks like. When you do send the kids to school, you may make sure you send them with 2 or 3 masks at least, because ultimately one's going to get dirty, one's going to get lost. And when you're sending them, make sure the extra ones are either in a Tupperware container or some sort of sealable container, a baggie or something, to keep them dry and keep them clean. The other thing that they're going to have to send to school with is a water bottle. And again, you might want to get a couple of good water bottles, not the little clear plastic ones with the twist-off lid. You get a good water bottle. Again, maybe a couple of them. Make sure the name is on it so they can identify it. And at school, they'll teach them where they can actually fill up the water, but make sure they have water bottles and teach them, again, not to share with their water bottles. When they come home from school, again, we want to make sure they get their mask off, into the wash, change their clothes, into the wash. If they have a Chromebook or their lunchbox, take a Lysol wipe, make sure you wipe it down to clean anything off of that. Sitting on the bus, make sure they're sitting with the same friend all the time. Again, we're talking about social distancing and making sure they're with the same group all the time. So make sure they're, teach them to sit with the same person all the time. That way the chances of impacting anybody else is good. You may also want to talk to school about a face shield policy. Some kids may have problems either physically or mentally or health reasons of wearing a mask. So they may have a face shield policy that will allow them to wear a face shield instead of a mask. That's another policy you can check out with the school. You may want to check with school. Again, another policy is what happens if your child is sick. What do you do if your child is sick? Who do you contact? What really happens? Same thing. What's their communication with you versus if somebody in the school is sick or somebody in the class gets sick? How are they going to communicate you? Are they emailing you? Are they calling you? Make sure the contact information is correct. Making sure that kids' vaccinations are up to date. The flu vaccine will be coming out shortly. That may be something you're interested in doing as well. Also, you want to make sure you have a plan in place, because chances are something's going to happen, and there may be a 14-day quarantine coming up that either someone in your class or someone in the school has been tested positive for COVID-19. Who's going to take care of the child? What's the policy towards communication? So you don't run into a panic when all of a sudden you get this phone call saying that your child's coming home and they're going to be home for the next 14 days. And along with that is now they're going to be doing some remote learning. Who's going to be in charge of that? How's that going to take place? So some things to think about over the next couple weeks as you're getting ready for this return to school. A lot different this year than in previous years, but hopefully what we've talked about today will calm some of your fears and give you some ideas of how to do this as safely as we can. If you want to talk to me at all, you can do this through Facebook here, or you can email me at jgoldsworthy@goldsworthywellness.com. As always, I'm Dr. Jeff, and I've got your back.